broken-hearted, you know. I went to church, but I felt so good. The whole atmosphere, it was feeding me. I was crying, tear was just going down. But it was a good kind of feeling, or good kind of crying. It wasn't sad. And at the third time that I went to church, that day I was a little bit late. I had to go and sit in the very first row of the church. This big church, 4,000 or 5,000 people. I was so uncomfortable to sit in the very first row, but the usher told me that follow me. I had to follow him. And we couldn't find any seat. We went to the very first row of the church. And that was the place that I met Jesus. Again, pastor was talking and preaching. I really couldn't understand his preaching because I didn't have any knowledge of Bible. And I was just sitting there, looking around, a little bit bored. And I saw a man standing behind pastor. I could see the thickness of the air. I started to look at him, and then he started to walk. And that really got my attention. I asked myself again, I said, who is this? A voice inside of me said, Jesus. And I laughed at that voice. I said, huh. And as soon as I said this, he walked inside of me physically. I took a very deep breath, and this fire just came all over me. Physically, I was on fire. My whole body was on fire. And something just touched my heart. I could see this hand came and just touched my heart. And I was just weeping, and I was just crying and crying and crying. And my body physically was on fire. And this heat was just coming out of me. And I started to cry, but then she was so excited. She said, "Now, do you believe that Jesus is Son of God?" I said, "No, I don't." She said, "Why not?" Now I said, "Now I believe that Jesus lives and He came to me personally. But Son of God, He needs to convince me that He is the Son of God." And I saw again Jesus so far into heaven, and He was standing in the right side of the throne. And He started to put His Spirit all over me. And it felt so good, and it felt so good, and it felt so good. And He convinced me without saying anything. I was convinced. It's like my heart knew He was the Son of God. And I was just saying, oh my God, yes, He's the only way. He's the only way. All of a sudden I realized. And what happened? I jumped. I got my energy back. No one invited me. I went to the altar. I ran to the altar. I got to my knee. And I started to worship Jesus and bow down to Him. And it was one of the most beautiful moments of my life. This humongous peace came over me. I was walking with peace. And I had so much love from the Lord. But I think for my life, it was the highlight was peace. I never had peace before. And it's like I was swimming inside of peace. If you don't have peace, if you don't really have joy, if you're not really sure that we will go to heaven, and if you never ever receive any love from God, try Jesus. Because He will give you love, He will give you joy, He will give you peace. You don't need to believe us as a Christian. You go to Himself. You go to Jesus. He will show up in different ways, sometimes through dreams. But the result is love, peace, joy. That's the result. If I die today, I know He is waiting there for me, and I'm going to jump into His arm. So I know that I don't need to be a good person to jump into His arm. He's waiting there. But if I get the chance to live 30, 40, 50 years, I know my heart will be more clean. That doesn't make me a righteous person. My heart will be more clean, then I can see more of His beauty. The more our heart gets clean, the more we can receive His love. You know? But if I die today, I know I'm not going to say, "Oh, Jesus, you're so holy." I'm going to jump on His shoulder. You know? I'm going to jump. You know, I'm going to dance with Him. I'm going to jump. Because He's my closest friend. And can our Muslim friends say, if I see God, I'm going to jump to His lap? I know it's hard to give up of all of your belief because it's so familiar. Everything that is so familiar, it's easy. You did it over and over again, and there is comfort into it. But if you don't have peace, go ahead and change it. Let Jesus come and turn your world upside down and introduce himself to you as love.